Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the WhiskAYE Podcast. This is episode 52. You might have noticed, I say might because it's not yet happened, but you might have noticed there's been a sudden spate of uploads recently. I may have forgot to upload for quite some time, or our editor, whoever that may be, obviously professional editor, if you've seen his podcasts, may have forgot to upload for a bit, but I've got a feeling at the moment that he might be doing a rash of them soon in the new year, 2024. We shall see. And if not, disregard all I've just said.
I guess especially considering we've got a potential special, but probably 3 special editions coming down the pipeline, which
Yes,
will maybe have a bit more editing, but actually likely less work in the editing.
Hopefully, yes. Yeah. He's a very lazy person, our editor. Very good, but very lazy. And we also potentially, there won't be special editions, but we are right on the cusp of the Dram Team's new boxes. So for those of you who've listened
the last of the regular boxes, I believe.
Yes. So for those who listened to before, obviously we're doing a Dram Team box, and we'll dive into it in a second. But I think we've discussed this in previous episodes. You've probably not heard it because it's probably one of the ones our editor hasn't uploaded yet. But basically, the new boxes that are coming out, slightly more expensive. And when I say slightly, I do mean slightly, but double the price point of the whiskies inside, which is pretty ridiculous. So
twice the value of whiskey, and it's like less than $1,000 more expensive. So you can't really shake sticks in a time of rampant inflation. Paying slightly more for twice as much value is a good price change.
We think it's a good deal. So yes, hopefully by the podcast 53, unless, as I say, the special editions, which we might call special editions. So by some podcast in the 50s, you will see us trying out more expensive whiskey, and we're ready for that. I think we've spent some time in the trenches. Now we're gonna
it's been a real slog getting through all this moderately expensive whiskey. Now we need to move into the real stuff.
Yeah, slowly but surely. So anyway, this, as you may have got from the fact that I mentioned New Year and all that, it is very close to Christmas, and that means only one thing, and it is a very sherry whiskey-mas, as always. Indeed. And the card kind of gives away the theme, but I shall read the card anyway. So it says, Whiskey Santa must have you on his nice list because this year's special festive release features 6 sumptuous sherry-matured Scotch whiskies. Not quite accurate, but okay. And not a lump of coal in sight, though you can expect a hit of peat smoke. Thanks, Chris. Put your feet up by the fire, get the carol music on, and enjoy a rich and decadent variety of Christmassy whiskies. A very sherry whiskey-mas to one and all. And
I see what you mean by it being not technically true, because we'll find out very much why.
Well, I shall get straight into it, shall I?
Yeah.
So, the first one has got a name that some of you may have seen a theme similar to this, but it is called Maple Syrup and Toasted Oats and Orange Zest and Vanilla.
It's so there's a whole, isn't it? Ampersand or whatever they call it.
Yeah, there's a whole range of these where basically they get whiskey and they aim to do a certain flavor profile with them. I think we've done one before, but there's like peaty versions.
Have done. I can't imagine they haven't at any point had.
I'm sure we've done one. It might, like I say, it might not be one that we've uploaded, but I'm sure we've done. I'm just having a quick scroll back through. I'm pretty sure we did one that was like a space side style, maybe, or something like that.
It was like raisins and.
Yeah, it was something like that. I can't see it at the moment. I'll keep looking in a bit when it's not my turn to introduce a whiskey. So as I say, maple syrup and toasted oats and orange zest and vanilla.
Now, go ahead, right? Make some guesses. Well, you finish.
Okay. Yep. What? Make some guesses on the nose.
Yeah, but without even nosing it, I'm going to guess that it might have some citrusy hints and some vanilla in there.
Yeah. So it says, now here is something you don't see every day: Canadian corn whiskey, finished exclusively in sherry casks. We couldn't resist. Expect a Ron Seal-esque, does what it says on the bottle tasting fiesta, and then it devolves into stereotypes. How about that, eh? Which is, to our Canadian listeners, we didn't write that.
There's also a secondary South Park Canadian reference that I already made, which was that this box is a very sherry whiskey miss, as is tradition, because that's from the Canadian royal family episode where he rips his princess's arm off and dips it in vanilla pudding or something. Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but yeah, that sounds very, very much like South Park.
Yeah.
So, do you want to have a sniff? See if you can get anything from it, and then I'll tell you if you're right. Just have a sip of water.
It does. It smells more along the lines of a rye. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what you would say about it. It's sort of peppery.
It is a little peppery.
But there's definite Christingle orange kicking about in this.
Christingle orange, yeah.
In the nose. It's
quite cereally.
It's like a spicy orange with, probably, the rye oats, maybe. It's not oats, it'll be rye, but the cereal smell.
Yeah, okay.
And then, it's very citrusy.
So the nose says buttery toffee popcorn and chocolate cornflake cakes, plantain, toasted oats, and maple syrup with a rancio-like edge. Bonkers stuff.
Rancio.
Don't know. Let me find out for you. If you want to dip in, relating to or constituting the nutty flavour peculiar to some fortified wines such as sherry and Madeira. Earthy, buttery, or nutty. Have you dived in?
I have.
Do you get any flavours?
That was like a buttery biscuit, like the base of a cheesecake.
I'm a little annoyed that you almost finished the meme and you didn't.
What?
You almost went buttery biscuit base, but then.
Yeah, it was a buttery biscuit base, is what it was.
Yeah.
It's a cheesecakey base, but with and then like the like it and then when it's
nutty base, fruity base.
Yeah. And then it goes to the orange flavour comes through. Yeah, the citrus.
Yeah.
Fruity,
okay.
Oaty flavour.
I'm going to go for a dive, and then I'll tell you what it says on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
It's very nice.
Very buttery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the cheesecake base analogy.
Yeah, it's got like a maltiness to it, but
it does have a maltiness. It's super. I know this is a word that's like an insult, but it is super smooth.
Yeah.
Very oily.
It's very oily. That's the thing. When we say something smooth, we don't mean there's nothing else to say about it. We are actually describing like not the texture, but the experience of drinking it. And smoothness is, I think, a compliment.
Yeah.
As long as it comes with flavour. If it's not the only thing you can say, which is, that's smooth.
So this says on the palate, orange zest, you got that, with Florentines full of biscuity, nutty, candied cherry. I think that's the biscuit base. Dark chocolate, honeyed goodness, black tea, and vanilla. The finish is juicy fruit, capitalised, so I'm guessing the sweet tea, and rolled oats. Moorish.
I can see where you were getting
Moorish.
Juicy fruit. Moorish. Definitely is.
I think that's a pretty spot on tasting. Because it is kind of like oaty creaminess, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. Not sure about the tea. I'm not getting that through. But
no, I'm not getting much tea, and I'm pretty good at tea. But everything else, yeah, it's very good. In terms of hitting the notes on the label, definitely oats, definitely orange zest, definite vanilla. I'm not sure I'm getting maple syrup. I'm not getting that kind of nuttiness, that kind of cedary nuttiness.
No, because it tastes like, well, maple syrup is sap, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just not getting that tree-ness, the mapliness.
Yeah. Which, there's
Which I'm
no
happy about, 'cause
woodiness
I don't
to
particularly
this.
like maple syrup. So,
The fact that they ruin bacon and pancakes simultaneously with it.
Yeah. It's always what annoys me with pancakes. I think I told you this when we were. I know that was our other fellow whiskey drinker when we went to Boston Tea Party for breakfast day after English Whiskey Festival.
Yeah,
and I always complain because I like the idea of a stack of pancakes for breakfast, but they either do it with like bacon and maple syrup or blueberries and maple syrup. It's like, I don't want it with.
Syrup.
I just want it. Yeah, I want it with like golden syrup or cream, like ice cream
honey.
or honey.
Really
yeah. Oh. Or even just butter.
Yeah,
they're good pancakes.
Yeah, I'm happy. I like, some people are against the concept of savory pancakes. I'm not. I like that. I'll get bacon, but there's a place near me. Actually, it's shut, so there isn't a place near me anymore. But there used to be a place near me where you could order pancakes for breakfast.
Yeah.
And you could get. They had like a sweet one and a savory. They had like not just one. You could basically get a pancakes.
Yeah.
Like not a full English, but like I've cooked breakfast with pancakes, or you could get like a fruity continental style breakfast with pancakes.
When my mum does stew, traditionally she does it with pancakes. Like thin pancakes, almost like crepes on the bottom.
Oh.
And then you do the stew on the top.
Interesting.
That's just, I don't know if that's, I guess that's how our family used to do it, but that's how, so yeah, I'm quite happy with savory pancakes.
I would say dumplings, which are similar to American biscuits, aren't they? But
yeah, suet dumplings.
For the international office.
They would like some suet dumplings with stew as well. Yeah. Did you want to give this one a score?
Coming in strong.
Yeah, I think same.
I think this is 4 plus. 4. Yeah. Like it's on the teetering, it's on the cutting edge of a 4.5, I think. But
it's very nice. I actually did something. So I've been writing down all the ones from the advent calendar, not the advent calendar we both got, the other one that I got.
Which, well, now you mentioned it, when you finish, we can probably discuss the upcoming.
And I've been writing them down in my book, because I like to do that. And I did give one a 3.75.
Oh, you've added it in.
I know. I shouldn't, or just go to 10. But it was really difficult to not.
Yeah, here, look, it's our scoring system. We can play tunes with it if we want.
I'd still like to set up like a WhiskAYE examples of each 0.5.
Yeah.
So what's we've got a 0, obviously.
Yeah. Although we have retroactively said maybe it wasn't, but
it's tasty. But it's in the law now.
We can find a 0.
Yeah.
Rob's had a 0.
yeah. So we could do like our versions, because I think we'd agree on some, but I don't think we'd maybe agree on 5s.
No, probably not. We might have 1 5 that matches. I'm not sure.
Maybe we'd have to do like a 5 for styles as well, because like I could go an Abuna or a Sherry Bomb like that and give it a 5.
Yeah.
But there's other whiskies out there that are also a 5 that taste nothing like that.
I think for everything, it's kind of within its style to an extent. Some things
maybe we just do it with like 3 examples.
Some things are like style transcendent, if that makes sense. Like
maybe we just do 3 examples of
popping candy one that we had. That was a rye, I think, but it was. It wasn't a stereotypical rye. That was a bourbon. Yeah, it was aged 18-year-old bourbon or whatever it was.
Yeah. I think that was the Heroes and Heretics, which we've got coming up. Maybe. I don't want to. No spoilers. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm just misleading you all. Who knows? You have to stick around to find out. Cliffhanger. That's where we end the episode.
I just never upload anything ever again. It's like I can't believe they cancelled that podcast mid-season.
Fade blank. I was going to say freeze frame, but seeing as we only upload still pictures in the background, that probably wouldn't be all that effective.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was going to say, since you've mentioned advent calendars, we both have, weirdly, as much as it's 2023, I think it's the 2022
21.
Advent 21, is it? Advent calendar from, what's the company called again? They've ceased trading, but
I can't remember. But it's a very good one.
Yeah, it was a special offer from our good friends at the Dram Team, where we managed to pick it up at basically half price.
Yeah.
Because there was some dead stock basically that they needed to get rid of.
There's like 8 or 10 20-year-old plus ones in there, and the doubles.
Yes. Yeah. It was a good deal, and it was yeah. So we've got some plans for to make some maybe slightly.
I have an extra plan which we can discuss after.
Fancy things, but we haven't finalised how we're going to deal with this. So it will be coming. I'm not sure, 3, 4, maybe
5 years.
I haven't bought episodes that are obviously 25, I think. Whiskey.
Yes, 25.
Probably a bit much for one go.
It was on the festival.
You might not get much coherence out of us if we were to upload a 5-hour long 25 whiskey.
I mean, I did 32 at the English Whiskey Festival, but they were not singles, and that was over like 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
And with significant gaps. And as editor, as I've said previously, he's lazy, so we're not going to record it all in one, because one of us has got more of a life than that, so couldn't devote 5 hours in a day to do something like that, and the other one is lazy, won't edit out blank spaces. So.
And there'd be a lot if we drank 25 whiskies in a row, I can tell you that, because we'd probably pass out for a bit.
Been listening to this for 45 minutes and you've not said anything.
Just as a live stream. Will we survive?
Every episode we barely say anything of like value.
No. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, that's what entertainment is, isn't it?
Yeah. Welcome to content creators. Maybe I ought to do it in the gym. I could set up a tripod, put on some yoga trousers or yoga pants or whatever they are, do some half squats in the middle of the room, but also drink whiskey at the same time.
Upload it as 30-second long TikToks.
Yeah, look at this guy staring at me. This guy Myron. I learned that today.
Yeah. Myron.
Yeah. Look at this guy Myron. Keeps staring at me. Chucked me out the gym because I was doing excellent squats. It's like, you can't drink in here.
Of course you can. You just want to drink water, and I just want to drink whiskey.
Yeah. It's
religious.
Good luck with your cholera. Should we go on to whiskey too? Because we've already got on a huge tangent, and we've only had the one.
We should go on to whiskey too.
Yeah.
Whiskey 2 is Old Perth, the original. So the Old Perth range, the Old Perth range brings together the finest of sherry matured malt whiskey from a selection of distilleries in the Glenlivet region of Speyside, blending them into superb sherry forward releases. The original is their flagship release and an incredible go-to sherry sipper. So this is a Speyside blend.
This smells fantastic. This is huge on the baked goods and honey and caramel. Toffee.
You can tell me how it smells as much as you want. I will never be able to confirm or deny if you've got what they say, because there are no nosing notes.
This is just it smells lovely. It's like I say, it's toffee and caramel, and
it's deep on it's almost treacly on the toffee.
Yeah, that's lovely. It smells.
It's actually like the toffee and dates, and it smells like a sticky toffee pudding.
Yeah.
No two ways about it.
Yeah. Toffee pudding with vanilla ice cream.
Oh, there's only 3 ways to have sticky toffee pudding, and the correct way is all 3. But it's cream, ice cream, and custard.
No custard.
Custard is the worst of the options, but
it's just not very nice.
Ice cream and custard you have them all at the same time. Just lots of decadence. But yeah, I would probably go, if it's a hot sticky toffee pudding, you should definitely have ice cream, I think.
I think I like the cream at the most, but yeah, Yeah, I'd take the ice cream as well. Right, I'm gonna go in for a taste to see what I can get. See if I'm on point.
See if you're close to these tasting notes.
That's quite spicy. Like Christmas spices. Nutmeggy, maybe.
Nutmeg,
it's vanilla.
That sort of stuff.
Yeah, there's definite vanilla in there. You right?
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of like pear, that kind of fruit, orchard fruits.
I want to tell you. Well, I'll go for a sip and then I'll tell you what.
I reckon vanilla, bit of pear, bit of nutmeg, cinnamon, maybe a bit of clove on the back end. Actually, gets a little bit not bitter, but a bit earthy, maybe.
Bit mince pie, maybe like Christmas mince pie, not a good mince pie.
Yeah.
So on the notes it says sophisticated sherry sweet tones and subtle spice are at the heart of this original malt, giving way to warm dried fruits and honeyed cloves. So
I think I did pretty good there.
Yeah.
I got cloves. I got spice. I got fruits. Yeah. Pretty good with that. So yeah. So orchard fruits.
Less toffee than I was expecting from the nose. But...
Yeah. Spices, cloves.
A bit like quite a cinnamony sort of maybe apple pie.
Yeah. I think so. It's just another good representation of a Christmas whiskey.
Yeah.
And again, this is, the last one was a corn whiskey. This is a blended malt. But again, we're about to head into... These are the two that aren't the Scotch single malts, the traditional kind of whiskies almost. But it just shows how good a blend can be.
Oh, yeah. I wonder where they get their grain to make this blend. Or it's a blended malt, so it doesn't have to be.
And generally, the cheaper as well. It's like... So the first thing I don't know what I've been looking for, but I was typing in the name of that maple syrup one, and the first hit I get on Google is maple syrup urine disease. I kind of want to know what it is, but it's already showing up in my Google search. So if I do look for it, that'll be just like targeted ads forever. I get some weird targeted ads sometimes.
Yeah.
I'd like to think they're not particularly targeted, some of them.
My phone knows me far too well. I just get advertised stuff that I actually want. It's really bad. It's like I'm like, you're definitely spying on me. Yeah. But also like now I know what I want to buy. So screw you. I don't have the money for that right now. Saving for something.
So I just looked up the first two that we've had just for the prices. First one, 30 quid. This one, 33.
That first one at 30 quid, I may have to buy a bottle.
That's a pretty insane price point. Bearing in mind, that's the 8-year-old.
Yeah. In this day and age, I can't imagine you get much spirits. I imagine a bottle of regular vodka is probably 20 quid. So 30 quid is...
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like Glenmorangie areas of mind. I mean, but they're butterscotch and vanilla and toast in a generation, which is a blended grain Scotch, 30 years old, £65.
Yeah. I guess it's because they're
just like super blooming tempting. I nearly got one. I ended up getting that other 45-year-old single grain instead, but I was always tempted by one of those. Did you want to score this one anyway? Sorry.
It was, as much as it was still good, it wasn't as good as that last one. So I think it's probably 3.5.
I was going to suggest, given that I broke the seal, that one would be a 3.75.
I would probably still give it a 3.5. I think. But...
Let's stick to it for now then, as a scoring system, and revisit maybe in the new year when we're on the more expensive whiskies. Because I think we're going to struggle even more there with the.
Yeah, we probably need more granularity at that level.
Yeah. Right, before we get distracted again, I'll move us on to the next one, shall I?
Yep.
This one should be quite fun. So this is the Lockley cask strength. So it's 60.1%. And for comparison, the last one we had, the Heroes, the Old Perth was 46, and the maple syrup one was 40. So this is his first cask strength of the evening. This says, this punch packing release from celebrated grain to glass producers Lockley represents their first ever cask strength bottling. At 60.1%, and matured initially in first fill bourbon barrels before finishing on Oloroso sherry casks, expect a powerful, fruit-forward dram with a spicy hit. I mean, Oloroso casks are always a win.
Yeah.
In my mind. I quite like those Fino cask ones as well, ever since I had one from Yorkshire Distillery.
Yeah, it's more delicate, but
yeah. It's kind of those kind of vanilla baked goods flavors. Yeah, it is, especially compared to like PX and Oloroso.
What's the fourth one that sometimes comes up again?
Moscatel.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, I think there might be another one, but yeah, those are the four.
Cool.
I do have another whiskey related story to give you at some point, but our update maybe. But
you do it after this, maybe halfway through.
Yeah, it's only a short one. Just remind me. Right, so go on then. Have a sniff. Tell me what you're getting.
It's less of a sherry bomb on the nose than the last two, but the alcohol is kind of hitting me, and I'm struggling to get through it. Let me try go for
it's not as punchy on the nose for me as I expected, but
if you smell it from the side, you get the, you know what I mean, like waft it past your nose.
There's one of those things where
I've
read the tasting or nosing notes, and I don't know if I'd have picked it up or been able to put it in. I think the difficulty is putting it into words rather than picking it up. But I think having read it, I'm like, yeah, that's actually quite accurate.
So it's got when I get past the alcohol, it has sort of I'd say almost like a sweet but leathery scent to it.
I think you might have hit it there. So this says fruit punch, which gives you sweet, cigar notes, coffee beans.
There it is, yeah.
I think that's that leatheriness. Yeah. This is what I'm saying about putting it into words. As soon as I saw coffee beans, then I was like, it is quite coffee. Yeah. But I don't think I'd have thought to say that. I think I'd have said leathery earthiness, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And the cigar notes come under that sort of.
Yeah.
It's like Old Spice wearing scents, isn't it? Like
yeah, exactly.
Wingbacks, cigars, pipe smoke.
But I think leather is a fine nosing note there. Okay, dive in, see what you get. It's a very simple kind of palette and finish on the card. So,
oof.
That good.
Oof. Cash jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna have a sip.
Sort of some. I might need a second and then go in again, but there's possibly some very perfumey but sort of citric, summer fruitsy, and then a lot of spice in there.
Yeah,
big kick of not cloves, not nutmeg, not cinnamon, that thing. Maybe cloves.
Yeah, I think you've kind of hit some of the points. So if you're all right with me reading it out,
yeah.
So it says signature Lockley fruit and Brazil nuts, with a finish orange syrup mixed with aged oak shavings, and I think cloves is like a savoury spice, and I think that's what you're getting is the aged oak shavings combined with the spice.
Yeah, with the spice, with the alcohol giving it the punch. That'll be the Brazil nuts. I'm not sure. I can never remember what a Brazil nut tastes like. Is a Brazil nut the big one?
Yeah, sometimes called chocolate coated. It was like, I don't know if it was just me, but I felt that tasted quite chocolatey just then.
Yeah.
It's definitely fruity.
Could be like maybe. Let me try.
It was just like on the initial taste before I swallowed, like as it entered the mouth, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe like a chocolate raisins.
Yeah, because you still got the fruit there.
Yeah.
I got a lot of
dark chocolate raisins, so like luxury chocolate raisins, not like.
I got quite a lot of citrus on the aftertaste that time as well. I never know how much of it is just like confirmation bias or whatever it is. You read it and then you're like, oh yeah, I can suddenly taste it. Or how much of it is actually you were thinking of that, but you couldn't take that last step.
I think what is with tasting is you're not tasting that, you're tasting chemicals that are similar to a memory of and the flavor is never. It's like almonds and cherry taste very similar because they have very similar molecules that provide their flavor.
Yeah.
They're not the same. They're not in the same family, I don't think, of like plant, but because they have a similar flavor because they have the same. It's the same molecules that you're getting.
Yeah.
And it'll be similar. Yeah. So when someone tastes it and they say it to you, if you know what it tastes like, you'll be like, oh yeah, because your brain will be able to, oh no, I do remember that, and then it'll taste it and go, yeah, no, that. So there is confirmation bias, but also, so it's a bit of both, is what I think. It's like,
yeah. Because like with a beer, it's like, if this beer tastes like strawberries or whatever, it's probably because you put strawberries in it at some point. Whereas whiskey, obviously, they don't put anything in it. They can't.
Yeah.
But
unless it's like pineapple, not whiskey. I'm saying in beer, unless it's like pineapple or citra, like the citric.
Some of it is the hops.
Tropical. Yeah, but there's like 3 flavor profiles you can get out of those hops.
Yeah, exactly.
Like so if you get a mango beer, it's probably got mango juice in it.
Yeah, and I mean, I was just doing those Vault City sours with my old man, and there was like coconut and blueberry in this, and because they put coconut blueberry in it, and I mean they're fantastic because I like sours, and I think they've got a really good sour as a base that they then flavor up with those, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's a good combo.
Yeah.
But whiskey is so much more difficult because it's just like, what memory is this triggering? It's giving me something, but and then you end up falling back on the old stalwarts, don't you? You end up being like, oh, it's got vanilla, or it's got oak, it's got this. It's like, because you know it probably does in your brain.
Yeah. But and so then once you start thinking, when you can't pinpoint something and you start running through the list of what is regularly there in your head, you taste them all.
Yeah. It's so hard to. All there. And I guess that's why, the people who can do that are the ones who get the good jobs and the reviewers and that. They can assign it. They become either the reviewers or they become the master blenders, the distillers, that kind of thing, because they can assign flavors, whereas we go in and be like, yeah, this one tastes nice, like vanilla. What about you mixing it with this? Yeah, it tastes like vanilla.
It tastes like good whiskey, that.
Yep.
So your anecdote that you had.
I just thought of another one, but one's an anecdote. Actually, do you want to go this one before we forget?
Oh yeah, we should. Yeah. I'll go 3.5 on that one as well.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'd like to try it, not cask strength.
Yeah, if they were to bring that one down to, that would maybe be interesting.
We could have diluted it, but yeah, fine. So two stories, I guess, both quick. One, when I was at the English Whiskey Festival, we went to the Cooper King Distillery stand, which is the one that I'm a member of, or one of the 2 now, because I'm a member of 2 now. And we were talking to the person there, and I was like, "Oh, I'm a barley member. I can't remember what. This is the 2nd tier, basically." And I've got a bottle. I bought a bottle, and they're like, "Oh, you're keeping it then?" Because it was the first bottle. I was like, "No, I've already started drinking it." And they were like, "Good." But she was like the master brewer, or not quite the master distiller, because I think the owner is the master distiller, or one of the owners is the master distiller. But basically, next one down in the tasting thing. And she was saying like when they were picking the casks and that, she was involved in tasting the different ones to see what would go well together. and she was saying a boyfriend who doesn't work at the distillery, who annoyingly was also called Josh, which is a it's a great name. But she was bringing it home, and he was helping her, like taste different ones, and be like, "Oh, this goes well with that." And I was like, "He's the luckiest man on earth, isn't he?" Just like your girlfriend comes back from work and he's like, "I've got these whiskies that I need to taste. Do you want to help?" And you're like, "Yes."
Oh no, only if you pay me.
I suppose I'll have to, love.
Yeah.
Things I do for.
You owe me one, Phil.
Yeah. I was like, I hate you, other Josh. And the second one, one of our fellow whiskey drinkers, he recently went to Iceland, as you may know. Did I tell you?
Iceland, yes.
He brought me a Christmas present back.
Oh, was it?
So I have a small bottle of Icelandic whiskey finished in birch casks.
I thought you were going to say finished in Finland.
Yeah. No, finished in birch casks, because you can't grow oak in Iceland, but you can't mature whiskey in birch because it's too soft.
But you could finish it in birch.
But you can finish it in birch.
And if it's been in whiskey, if it's been in an oak cask for 3 years, we still considered whiskey as far as Scotland's concerned.
So
in America, what is it? 18 months, 2 years, something like that.
2 years.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to give that a go, because I've never had an Icelandic whiskey. And the other advent calendar that I've got, I've ticked off a couple of others, because I've never had French whiskey, and now I have. I've never had whiskey from the Netherlands, and now I have.
Netherlands? So, who makes whiskey in the Netherlands?
It was a blender. I don't ask me to say the name, because even if I had it in front of me, I won't be able to say it properly. But it was all right. It was I think I gave it 3. It was pretty good. Let's see what Master Malt says about Dutch whiskey. Dutch whiskey, Millstone. Doesn't sound very Dutch. No, it wasn't these. So yeah.
Sneaky Dutch.
Yeah, so just other countries' whiskey that I've never had before. So thank you, jwhiskey.com or .de, I think, because they're a German company. They're called J Whiskey because they mainly sell Japanese. Yeah, it was £75.
Not bad.
But they are only 20 mils, 24 of them, and they're like entry level.
£3 a go.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And like one of them was a Glenfarclas 105, so I knew that'd be good.
Yeah,
I was straight into that. I was like, yeah, fair. Is it your turn?
It's my time to tell us about whiskey. So,
but I will save you some of that Icelandic whiskey for next time you visit.
Okay. Because you won't be able to bring it next time you come up because you're flying. So unless maybe Bristol Airport and Glasgow Airport have decided that.
Yeah, they are.
Those are the airports you're using. That they're getting rid of time. London City has spinned it off already, but London City.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I mean, to be fair, there's like 6 flights going in at London City every day, and then they're all trying not to hit buildings. So
fair.
Okay, up next.
Yes.
Heroes and Heretics. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, welcome back to season 3.
Yeah, the Falls of Caledonia, Glentalkers.
That'd be a good name for a season as well, or like a pilot episode. The Fall of Caledonia. I know it's the Falls, but
the multiple Falls of Caledonia.
Yeah.
The fall and rise and fall.
Yep.
Okay, this Falls of Caledonia release from hip indie bottlers Heroes and Heretics showcases Spirit from Glentalkers, a little-known distillery popular with independent bottlers, whose Spirit pairs tremendously well with sherry casks. Here, just 358 bottles were matured in a sherry hogshead smaller than a sherry butt, and tending to lend more sherry influence to the spirit. Rich decadence awaits. So, a wee hogshead.
Aye. Not quite up to the darkness levels that use quarter casks, but hogshead is fairly small.
Oh. And apparently the spirit lends itself well, so.
Yeah. quite chocolatey on the nose.
So,
baked goods, chocolate.
Anything else?
Bit of citrus, maybe. But that could just be the
Wow.
alcohol.
It's almost like condensed milky.
Yeah.
I suppose that's fudgy, isn't it, really? So,
yeah, vanilla fudge, yeah.
So on the nose here, the card says
Mm.
caramel toffee, almond fudge, and raisins. Now, almond fudge, that'd be more like vanilla, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we were close. You were closer, but close.
I think
Sarah, be proud.
I think your chocolatiness. To me, it smells like chocolate, like a chocolate coated toffee.
Yeah.
As weird as that is, like
I know what you mean. Like a
creaminess of chocolate, but with toffee.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like a toffee penny or whatever.
Yeah, but with chocolate. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they don't have chocolate on them, do they? Talking.
But it was a toffee penny I was thinking of, but dipped in
toffee
chocolate.
straw ones, those long thin ones.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were never as good as toffee pennies. I feel
Toffee
like toffee
pennies.
those wasn't as good.
Toffee pennies are the best toffee, but they're trying to get your teeth. Like, I don't remember when Sartons used to have shops and they didn't just sell their stuff in.
Yeah, and they used to do like pair up with Clinton's cards.
Yeah, they used to get a bag of Thornton's toffee like from behind the counter rather than like a pre-packed bag.
I was all about the Viennese truffles of Thornton's, to be honest.
I used to get the toffee and then like you feel it pulling your teeth out as you try to eat it.
Yeah. Those Viennese truffles are like my weakness. I'd kill like quite a few people for some Viennese truffles, I think. Depending on how much I liked them would affect the volume of people.
How many truffles you would need.
Yeah. It'd be, like for someone that I've drank 500 and odd whiskies with like yourself, it'd at least be a bag.
Yeah, that's good.
Whereas like Robe, it'd be like a drawing of one.
Yeah. This just a waft of the scent.
Yeah, they just mention it in part of the contract. They just have to say Viennese truffles, and I'd have already killed him at that point. I just if I felt like I was
yourself, yeah.
I felt like I get a medal. I felt like if I was lacking motivation, I'd just scroll back to that picture you sent of that whiskey in inverted commas.
Yeah.
And that'd power me on.
Yeah.
But did you see that picture you sent to the group chat a bit ago? That just really weird, like dancing picture, GIF, whatever.
No.
Yeah.
Go back now.
Just let's see if I can find it. It's just weird. It's very Robe.
Very Robe.
From his,
I did see it. Yes, it's very recent. Yeah. No doubt he has that in his phone.
Yeah. It was very quick.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going for a taste.
Tasted. I love it that we've done this, like discussed a visual thing on our podcast, which is obvious. It would be for us to discuss it in any way that was more descriptive, so you could go and see what we're talking about. Would definitely cancel us.
You'd thank us.
Well, yeah. So, what are you getting on the palate and finish?
It's very sherried. Quite wide mouthfeel, Christmassy flavours, bit of fruitcake maybe, but not too sweet. Like stewed fruits, stewed raisins.
I'm gonna get a little step closer.
There's a little bit of citrus in there maybe, and like brown sugar. Yeah, so, I'm gonna go with like Christmas cakey flavours, which is a cop out for a sherry whiskey.
Here is biscuity with undertones of bacon, salt, and dried fruit.
I was way off then. I got dried fruit. I would not go with bacon or salt.
Now here's a note on the finish that I'm actually potentially agreeing with. But first of all, the finish is like a great name for like a fantasy, like a Witcher like DLC or something. Leatheradale.
No. That's like a fantasy buddy cop show.
Yeah. Yeah, leather and ale.
Yeah.
But I am actually going to say that there is a bit of a beeriness on that finish.
Yeah, like a maltiness, I guess.
Yeah. But
It's
an interesting one because it is like sweet and salty.
There is a savoury bit to it, but I would never have said bacon.
Mm-mm.
I definitely get like loads of dried fruit. Savoury hit. Leather and ale. Yeah, that'll be our Buddy Cop show.
Next time they release a decent online co-op fantasy game. Don't know.
I don't really want to be leather.
Yeah.
just
leather has too many connotations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Editor's note: ale and ale.
I was gonna be like plate and ale. Then I'd be all right. Yeah. I could be plate. But yeah, ale and ale. One of them is a loose cannon cop who doesn't play by the rules, and the other is a loose cannon cop who doesn't play by. Wait a minute.
Yeah, we decided to just both go for a funny man. We don't need a straight man.
You can't be a straight man and be clever.
Yeah, true.
That just doesn't work. We're getting into bloody creamy mouthfeels. It's territory here.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to give this one a score?
I've still got some to go, but I can probably score.
Okay. Sorry. I was trying to get us off that topic.
Yeah. I'd still probably go to a 3.5 on this one as well, I think.
I think that's a fair assessment. Yep. I mean, at least we've got a name for the podcast now. Well, is it ale and ale or leather and ale?
Yeah. One of the two.
Yeah, we will decide at the end. I quite like, actually, maybe I would be leather, because if we did like a D&D campaign or whatever with the rest of the friends, I feel like it'd make everyone more uncomfortable than it'd make me uncomfortable. So I'm actually all right with
that. What class would leather be?
It'd have to be a rogue or something like that, wouldn't
it? Yeah.
I can't do. As you know, I just have to play a fighter, because I am the most default person in the world. Maybe I'd be leather, but inexplicably I don't wear leather. You all right there?
Yeah, sorry. That last month I went down the wrong way a little bit.
No worries. No, like 54% whiskey in the lungs.
Yeah, loosened off the chest a bit, you know.
Yeah. Gets into the bloodstream quicker.
Yeah. Taking it in the eyeball.
I mean, that's how I drink all my whiskey.
Just through your food, that's the best way.
Yeah. It saves me having to do a handstand as well.
Yeah.
It's difficult by whiskey 5. So. Yeah, I thought it might be. Yeah. Years of experience told me that you might be. Right, shall I take us on to whiskey number 5 before we get demonetized? Before we even get monetized?
Well, I mean, that's all the best channels get cancelled before they get big.
It's big, puritanical, trying to keep us down.
Yeah.
So we go from Heroes and Heretics to a Heroes and Heretics.
Oh.
And for those of you who have listened to this podcast for a while and therefore generally relish in my pain, you will like this one because it is Smoke and Glory from LeChaig, spelled LEDAIG. But I've had one of theirs recently, so I know it's pronounced LeChaig. This Heroes and Heretics Smoke and Glory release showcases peated spirit called WhiskAYE, produced at Tobermory Distillery on the Isle of Mull. WhiskAYE, and it tells you how to pronounce it there, delivers distinctive, bold peat that complements the fruity Tobermory spirit style wonderfully. And the 12-year sherry butt maturation has made this a remarkably complex dram with a lot to explore. Now, two things stand out for me there. One, it's a 12-year sherry maturation. It's not a finish. It's been done for its own entire duration in sherry, which is exciting. And two, I mean, I can smell the peat as a poet, but I have had a WhiskAYE by choice because in my mind, and we'll see if you agree, it's a little bit stronger than a Benwood Mac kind of level of peat. It's not heavily peated. Now, this might be more, but I'm hoping it's not.
Hope that the 12 years would tamp it down a bit, but
yeah, I just don't think it was that heavily peated to begin with, but we shall see.
Yeah, I just mean that any peat in it, you think there would be more wood influence coming in. But, I mean, you can definitely smell the peat on it.
That does not smell very nice at all.
I don't know. It's more of a campfire peat than a.
It's just very peat.
Yeah, it's like a barbecue, It's more like
a cured meats to me. That
like a fragrant wood barbecue, like American style, like
yeah.
Chuck it in here for 6 hours with like rosewood or something like that, you know.
Yeah, I can give that. Yeah, it's certainly not like a medicinal or a heavery. Do you want to go for a taste? See what you get. See if you get it right. I mean, if you say peat, it's a fair guess, isn't it? Peat and sherry.
Yeah. Give it a taste.
Yep, I will do the same, and then we'll see what you get.
It's like a chalky peat.
Oh, that is significantly more peated than any other WhiskAYE I've had.
But you know what I mean by it's kind of chalky. It's like a.
Well, I don't want to say what I'm tasting because I've read the card, so I don't want to give it away. I am pulling many faces, though, if that helps.
Give one more little sip and then.
This is why we need to get the cameras going because we get lots of like thumbnails of my face just like fighting to pull itself off my skull every time I have a peated whiskey.
Yeah, it's a very floral peat on the flavour.
It's a very
maybe
flavour.
Maybe like a. Yeah, I'm not getting much more than the peat. Just it's quite sweet, I'd say.
So I mean, to be fair, you were yeah. So it says palate, dried fig, black cherries, and peat. So sweet and peat. And then finished, I get a lot of leather, and it says leather, seashell, and butter.
That's the chalkiness I was thinking of.
Seashell, yeah. Lime.
Yeah. Not that I've ever tasted seashell.
No, but I can't imagine it tastes much worse. Second taste was a lot easier because you've kind of adapted. But
even when I'm like eating shellfish, which is rare, unless it's mussels, they've become part of something that I would consider ordering, which I wouldn't. If you told 15-year-old me that, they'd just spat in your face. But there you go.
Strong reaction.
Yeah. I hated shellfish, but yeah, now mussels are on the list. One day maybe I'll eat oysters.
Oysters are good.
I was also borderline scared because my dad is like deathly allergic to mussels, and it's one of his favorite foods. So one time when he was on holiday, he told my mum, "I'm going away, and I'll see you," because they had to walk past there was a Greek island, I think. So the sea's right there. They had like fresh mussels every day.
On a Greek island, aren't you?
Yeah, and they had to walk past this restaurant every day, and he's smelling the mussels and seeing them, and he was like, "Susan, I'm gonna do something, and you probably don't want to be there, but I'm just gonna go away, and then I'll see you in a couple of hours." And he basically went, ordered a thing of mussels, told them, "I'm putting the money on the table because I might have to leave very quickly," and ate them as quick as he could, and then immediately went and vomited his entire insides out because
it's weird because I like mussels, but you don't get a lot from them in terms of flavour. Because he shook him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of his favourite foods.
If that's what he likes, I'm not trying to say that it's wrong for him to like him. It's just it's a strange one to be that enamoured with, because I didn't get a lot from him when I had him.
I think it depends how well they're cooked in garlic butter.
Yeah, I mean,
or stewed in rich tomato sauce.
Yeah, because I had him in Cyprus a few times, and they were lovely. I mean, I like seafood. I like fish, but I'm not a huge fan. But seafood.
I don't like salmon. As a Scot, I like
salmon actually. I like the meatier fish. You know what's nice?
I prefer
actually? Mackerel. Yeah. Mackerel's nice. And trout. Trout's pretty good.
Yeah, I prefer I mean, Atlantic cod is like the way that the flakes come out and they're just big chunks of meat. That's good. Fish like that, I like.
I'm not a big fan of cod.
Tuna does it. I know, but
the
way that it comes out is good. The way that the meat.
True. You know who taught me that I like mackerel?
Who?
Our London friend.
Oh.
Yeah, when I was living with her back at the start of the grad scheme, she cooked some.
Probably eats eels and stuff. So.
Probably, yeah. Candied or whatever it is. She she
jellied.
Jellied, that's it. And I think she offered me some. I don't think I'd have just taken it, and it was actually really nice. But yeah.
What's that, mackerel? Disgusting, and grabbing a handful.
Yep. Yeah. I am a terrible roommate. Or housemate or whatever. But yeah, I've always been a big fan of like lobster and crab, prawns. I used to apparently in the pram. My mum would take me down to the fish market in Mexborough. Believe it or not, Mexborough still has a fish market, I think. And get frozen prawns, and I'd be grabbing for them in the pram, even though they were frozen.
Yeah.
Like, I want prawns. Not probably in that many words, but
yeah,
did like prawns. Still do.
We should get next time you're in Scotland and we're up north. We should get langoustines.
Yes, absolutely. Well, next time we're up north in Scotland, we've got to go back to Seven Stills.
True. They probably do langoustines, to be fair.
Yeah.
Some kind of fancy French version.
Probably. I wonder if they'll remember us. I reckon they will. They're that kind of
Hopefully,
people.
I mean, we gave them a good bit of chat, so.
They're that kind of people. I think they'd remember us.
They also aren't a super, they're quite, not that we got all exclusive, but they are exclusive in the way that they operate, is to be like, you have to find us.
You say they're not exclusive, but we got use of that exclusive toilet.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we made a good impression, as always. Yeah. Did you want to score that one?
I was going to go a 3.
I'll give that.
Actually, I think it's maybe a 2.5. It was pretty one note.
2.5. I gave that a 1.
Given that was in 12 years in a sherry cask, they've wasted 12 years on a sherry cask there.
Yeah, it just tastes like peat.
I didn't get any sherry cask out of it.
This is always my problem with peat. I'm fine. I mean, it's not a flavour I enjoy. Fine, but it's such a potent flavour.
Mm-hmm.
It dominates every other if you're not careful, and that did just dominate, didn't it?
Yeah. That was all it was.
Yes.
Chalky peat, basically.
So, right. Last one.
Let's see if this is a clean glass.
I got a second glass of this. Just to keep people up to date. So we had the 60.1%, the Lockley cast strength. The first Heroes and Heretics was 54. That one we just had was 50.3. So semi-cask strength. Not really, but not too diluted.
And this last one is 57. So I'd probably go ahead and say, given its age,
probably cask strength.
That is probably cask strength.
Yes.
So up last, but definitely not least, we have, for I think the second month in a row, a Master of Malt.
Let me check. Maybe it might have been. I didn't put it in the name, but it might have been.
This is a secret space side, aged 21 years.
It was, yeah. Last one was also a Master Malt, 21 years.
Yeah. So
check the cards. Sorry.
No, okay, no problem. I'm glad that my memory isn't failing me yet.
No. Nope.
So we bring our sherried sextet to a close in style with this well-aged gem uncovered by the clever whiskey folk at Master of Malt. Aged 21 years in an all Russell sherry butt. Oof. Yeah. This is a rare and sumptuous delight.
I was going to make a joke around sextet and leather and ale.
I was going to make a joke about sextet and 21 years in a butt, but...
Oh. Yeah.
Leather,
21 years in a butt. Yeah. See, this is why we are the ideal co-hosts. Is because we both came up with the same kind of joke, but different tracks.
Yeah, and that's how we would make good writers.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. Fuck off, Ant and Deck.
Yeah.
Step aside for leather and ale.
Yeah, they're supporting. They just spent 3 weeks supporting Nigel Farage, giving him a platform. So.
Yeah, I'd have shot him dead on the first day.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure Australia gave up their guns. I'm pretty sure Jim Jeffries has a bit about that. He used to do in America.
Not free like Americans, yeah.
He says,
school children.
We had one school shooting, and we all went, you know what? Maybe we should just get rid of our guns, and everyone handed in their guns. You guys have like one a day.
Yeah. It's madness. But I still, I'd have been like, here's the first Bush Tucker trial, and then just shot him. And then just walked off.
0 star.
Yeah, sorry, Nigel, you're out first.
Yeah.
Should have dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear what I was going to do. I had a gun in my hand. What did you think I was going to do?
He's pretty good at dodging bullets his entire career.
Exactly. So. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'd have got a significant enough percentage to say the free market demanded it.
Yeah. Just say you're in international waters, and then when they dispute it, then go on the run, get extradited.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll go somewhere with no extradition. It's more what I meant.
I feel like if I got extradited to the UK, I'd probably have a good chance of getting acquitted. I'd have been like, yeah, but he's Nigel Farage, and I'd be like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, depends who the 12 is or the 15 if you got to do it in Scotland. In Scotland, you probably wouldn't need.
Is it 15 in a jury in Scotland? Is it?
Yeah, we have like a weird thing. There's 15 on the jury. You only need a normal majority. You don't need like 10. Oh. So if 8 people on the jury say you're guilty, you're guilty.
In England, the judge can reduce that.
Yeah, it takes a while. So in Scotland, it's literally just 8 if you need to say one.
So it starts off when you're on jury duty, because I did jury duty in England, obviously. Well, actually in Wales, but I think it's the same in England.
Yeah, England was the same.
Yeah, it started out as a unanimous, and then when we went back, he was like, "I'll take a majority 10-2."
Yeah. So
it turned out that we were unanimous anyway, but it wasn't.
Scotland, it's just there's 15 on the jury. You just need 8 for a verdict, and we have a third verdict which is not proven, which means we don't think you're not guilty, but there's not enough evidence here.
Yeah, whereas here,
and a not proven and a not guilty. So a not guilty that allows. I think the not proven allows you to be brought back if more evidence is uncovered.
Yeah.
Whereas double jeopardy and a not guilty is like that's it. You've been found not guilty. You can't be brought back in.
Yeah, because the idea, the preponderance of evidence here is basically if you can't prove that you're guilty, then you're innocent.
Yeah.
Which is probably the best way of running it. I'm not saying there's not against the third option, but in terms of if you can't prove that someone's guilty, then you must assume that they're innocent. Otherwise, it's madness.
Yeah, no, and if you got given not proven on all counts for whatever you're in for in Scotland, you get released. It's the same.
Yeah.
Functionally the same as not guilty. but it leaves open the ability for in the future someone to go, by the way, I found new evidence, and no one to go, yeah, but he's not guilty. You go, okay,
I don't know
they
how
didn't
double
prove
jeopardy
it the
works.
first time.
I know America's got double jeopardy. I don't
know if we have. I don't know how it is. I think in Scotland that I'm not 100% sure, but I think a not guilty in Scotland that's the end of this. Whereas a not proven is a.
If new evidence turns up, I think they can open it again, but I don't know.
But it's a bit weird because like the law doesn't require you to prove your innocence, so you would bring evidence to. So if there's not enough evidence, then you'd always say not proven, unless they literally came and says, no, here's some evidence that shows that I wasn't there.
You've got to be though, haven't you? You've got to be assumed innocent, otherwise.
Yeah, obviously.
It all falls apart.
Anyway, so it's a bit weirder, but anyway. You had a sniff of this one yet?
I have in amongst our Laura chat.
Yeah.
Not like Laura as in the assigned female at birth name. You can be called Laura if you want as a bloke.
It's Lawer. It's someone who practices law but doesn't have a law degree. Because they're still practicing.
Practice, yeah, exactly. I'm only practicing, Your Honour. It's quite clovey.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of citrus. It's quite spicy, but I don't know if that's, again, the alcohol is 57%.
Yeah, it's quite hard to get something out of. They've got a note. I've read the note.
Definitely vanilla. So yeah, I'm gonna go with like vanilla citrus.
Okay. Oh, there's something on here that I think we both will appreciate.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, one of the nosing notes. So it's honeycomb, butterscotch flavored angel delight.
Oh yes, is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the best angel delight.
Nut. Yeah, cob nut brittle.
The hell is cob nut?
I have no idea.
How
caramelized.
Chris, really?
Yeah, caramelized biscuits, so Biscoff. And then that leads to a baked apples and flaky buttery pastry. I don't know what a cob nut brittle is.
Apparently, cob nut brittle. No, I don't know it. Fancy bastards. I can say fancy bastards now because I just said that. What did I say? Fuck off to? Was it Nigel Farage that said fuck off to?
Yeah.
Probably. Fuck off, Nigel Farage. There you go, if I didn't say it.
It's cob nut, the stuff that it looks like the stuff that's in the middle of a dime bar.
Yeah, I do like a dime bar actually.
As in the best bit of a dime bar.
Yeah.
As far as it's a chocolate bar, you're like, I want to get the chocolate
type of
off
hazelnut traditionally grown in Kent. Typical bloody Southerners have got to come up with a new name for something that already exists. But oh yeah, it's a hazelnut. Oh, we call it cob nut here. I don't care what you call it.
Good for you.
Yeah. Bastard in Kent. Right, I'm gonna go for a taste.
You go.
Oh. Quite spicy again. Quite savoury. Lots of sherry flavours. Again, kind of cloves. That kind of savoury leveriness. Especially in the finish. Chris Tingle orange is definitely there because it's got that citrus and that cloviness. Yeah.
It's a pretty fancy.
Cloves, citrus, sherry flavors, bit of leather. That's bit of vanilla, maybe a bit of fudge, kind of.
Someone has been going to poetry classes who's written this palette and finish.
Oh right, okay. Is it a long one?
Just more the symbolism, we'll call it.
Okay.
Not so much the palette, to be fair. It says vanilla fudge before an abundance of orchard fruits, cooked apples, juicy pears, peaches, and plums are all at the party. So that's the first part of this. Not simile. Metaphor, I think. It's still metaphor. With decadent layers of chocolate and hazelnut. On the finish, elegant spices joined towards the end, lingering at the edges to bring a gentle warmth to the fruit rave that is still blaring out beats.
Wow. I don't get much.
Someone was like, pears, peaches, and plums are at the party. I'm carrying this fruit to finish.
Yeah. I don't really get much in terms of fruit from that. I think my lever transfers to like the nuttiness that it says, hazelnut, orchard fruits. I got vanilla fudge, I think. Spiciness with cloves.
Got the spiciness.
I don't really get much fruit from it.
There's maybe not over the top of the spice. No, I think it's there in the background somewhere, but you'd have to be. I think you'd have to have drank a few spicy whiskies beforehand to get you, or maybe the water does the job.
Yeah, have a go.
Try a little. 2 drops of water in there. Not a lot of whiskey, so.
That's the problem. You need to give us more whiskey on the 6th one, Chris.
That was just quite spicy. Right. This has probably been watered down to about a 35% whiskey now. So legally not whiskey anymore.
I get vanilla, I get fudge, I get like nutty / leveriness, clove spice. I don't get any fruit. It don't get sweet enough for fruit.
No, I don't get any fruit. Just all, as you say, vanilla, fudge, and then
there's a bit of nuttiness, like
bit of nuttiness,
kind of savoury earthiness.
Yeah, the closest it comes is a bit of citrus. But,
yeah.
But that's fine.
Score that one.
I think that's 3.5 again.
I think 3.5, yeah.
Nothing has held a candle to that Canadian corn whiskey, surprisingly.
£30.
Yeah. Which is, it hurts my heart as a Scotsman and that, but equally, now I know it exists at £30, so I can go away and buy a bottle.
I had, again, going back to that Advent calendar, I had a Canadian blend called Black Velvet, and that was fantastic. And that is £27 a bottle.
Goddamn Canadians. Been better at being Scottish than Scots. What's that all about?
£25 for a litre. It was just really good. It was just really nice.
For a litre?
Yeah.
That's like 18 quid for a 70.
I know, it's like Bell's whiskey.
Yeah.
But it's just really nice. But it's difficult to tell, because when you have 20 mils of it, it might be lovely. But when you actually have a bit of it, you might be like, actually, not so great.
Yeah. But, yeah, it might be one of those ones where if you have like 2 grams of it, it starts to have an aftertaste.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a very sherry whiskey-mas. Another good batch, as always. As I said at the start, hopefully you will have seen a spate of uploads. Hopefully our editor will have pulled his finger out and got on with uploading some, because we do have a backlog.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon you will see some uploads of a special variety from the Advent calendar that we've previously mentioned. And then our regular service will resume with more expensive whiskies.
Yeah, fancy stuff.
Maybe some changes to how we do things, which we've been promising for like 5 years, but you never know. You might actually see us on camera at some point. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
I think at this point my phone camera would be the best choice for me to use. So try and get a tripod.
Plenty of
that.
megapixels in a phone camera now.
That's what most people use, isn't it?
Pretty much. Yeah. But as always, thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
See you.